How's it going, guys? My name is Franker and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going through my 5 key sell indicators going into 2025. Now this is a video that we did quite recently, or by quite recently we mean about 6 months ago, when I planned to sell my crypto. But being so late sort of in the cycle, I believe this is something we should touch on regularly. So we'll be going back through my 5 key sell indicators, basically what needs to happen for them to trigger and sort of what our plan is going forward. Now, of course, if you do enjoy it, remember to hit that subscribe button. We are at 852 subs. We're pushing up for 900. So if you do enjoy, hit that subscribe button. Any questions, feel free to comment down below. If you do enjoy this video, remember to hit that like button. Referral codes down in the description below, all the fun stuff. But let's just jump straight into the first key indicator. Now, the first key indicator is going to be timing in the market. Now, this is something that we have been talking about for so long now, and we actually spoke about in this video 6 months ago, wherever it is, that video there, you'll see time targets. So very, very important. This is the key. This is, in my opinion, the most important thing that we are following so far in this cycle is just following these time targets, because price, very, very difficult to predict, but time and, how long we see these sort of market swings happen are, quite predictable, at least so far in this cycle. We've been following, this for, we started posting on this sort of 4-year cycle, in and around this area, saying that the blue box is a great buy zone. It's the accumulation phase before the bull market, and the bull market is essentially here, or it really starts at the bottom of the market. But this is when you want to be buying, and this is when you want to get ready to start selling. So that's why we're talking about sell targets here. Now, based on prior cycles of essentially 10 bars or 10 or 11 bars up, 1 year down, 2 years across, 11 bars up, if we follow that out, 1 year down has happened, 2 years across has happened, and now if we look at one final year up, that sort of takes us out to October 2025. So we've got it on October 1st, but anywhere quarter 3, quarter 4 2025 is our time target. So realistically, after that sort of June-July period, you would want to start to look at selling your crypto. So that is the first indicator. Now, of course, there is more than likely a good chance that other indicators are going to get hit before we do reach these time targets, and you will have already started selling out of the market. So this is sort of that, if things are going absolutely rosy, and everything's playing out perfectly, this is probably going to be your first indicator. But if things, do flip a little bit, get a bit scary, or go a little bit too ballistic, this likely won't play a major part. But, this is our key, primary indicator at this point in time. Now, the second indicator, which I don't follow nearly as closely personally, but it's good to keep in mind, and, ultimately what everybody wants to know, which is price targets. So price targets, whilst they're not the best indicator, the best thing to go off of, they are important just to have in the back of your mind to follow. So that's sort of what I've got out here. So we've got a couple of different ones. Forecasts. So what we'd see is that each cycle has diminishing returns in terms of a percentage, but greater returns in dollar value. So first cycle went up by 18,000, which was 1,500%. Second cycle up by 49,000 US dollars, which was 250%. This cycle obviously a bit bigger. So what we would essentially expect is for the dollar value to be greater than 49,000 from the prior all-time high, but the percentage to be less, which takes us to about 250%, which takes us out to about 240,000 US dollars. So this is something that we have spoken about in our monthly analysis videos that we do. So make sure to go check those out if you're trying to keep up to date with sort of what technical analysis we're looking at. But essentially, what we would expect in this case is that the dollar value will be greater than 49,000, but less than, the percentage gain of 250%, which leaves us somewhere between 118,000 and 240,000 US dollars. And obviously that is a massive range. And it doesn't really narrow things down too much, but perhaps it can give you a bit of a indicator to start selling once we're above 118,000. Obviously, that does not mean, hits under 118,000, sell all your Bitcoin. It might just mean, once we hit 118,000, you might sell 10%. And then once we hit 125,000, you might sell 10%. something simple like that, just to take some chips off the table, as obviously the higher the price goes, the more the risk versus reward gets skewed towards risk. So you want to take some chips off the table. The other thing that we look at that is quite simple is just a Fibonacci extension, just from the low to the high, and extending it up. So it's just 102, 132, 160, 190. We have hit 102, and you can see that we basically just got rejected. So maybe that's an early indicator of a good price taking target, but we're realistically just looking a little bit higher, 130 to 160. So those are a couple of different price targets. Some possible, take some chips off the table, take some chips off the table, take some chips off the table as the price gets higher and higher. But we also want this to sort of be aligning with the time targets. So if these price targets are getting hit, it's sort of later in 2025, May, June, July. So if it's that sort of time period, it could just be worth considering taking those chips off the table. So those are a couple of sell indicators that we are definitely following for our price targets. Now, those are our two primary indicators for the upside. So if that is if Bitcoin continues going up, those would sort of be our targets. Now, a couple of other upside targets. So I guess our third price target is going to be looking, or sorry, not price target, sell indicator, is going to be looking at the monthly RSI. This is a pretty clear-cut trend. You can draw the line wherever you want, right, to match it up with particular points, or it doesn't really matter. But the point is that every time this trend line gets hit, that is effectively very close to the end of the cycle. We go back to the first cycle. What we have been seeing is that this trend line gets hit twice. So first one on this point here, second one is the at least intermediate top. Same thing again. Intermediate top and then the eventual top, both coming off that RSI. So some things to look out for. Same thing again, intermediate top, the eventual top, same thing again, intermediate top, and the eventual top didn't actually come back up nearly, so could have fooled a few people there. But realistically, okay, so based on this, we might expect Bitcoin to run up, sort of just hit the top, come back down, hit it again, something like that, that pushes us later out into the year. Whether that plays out or not, I don't know, but I think just hitting the high end of the RSI is a pretty good indicator. Even if you were selling a bit early, if you started taking profits when the RSI got hit from about $4,000 onward, yes, you missed out on some potential gains, but you're not selling all your Bitcoin. And that's the important part, right? You're not selling all your Bitcoin when these indicators get hit. When that indicator gets hit, okay, you take some profits maybe, and you just start taking profits. So you're riding out that last sort of 6 months of the cycle, just taking profits through this whole period here. You can't really be mad. If you look back on it, taking profits in this period here and then buying back up down here, that is a fantastic trade. Yes, you didn't sell the exact top, but that's not the point. Just take some profits out of the market. So RSI coming up and hitting this trend line around that, high 80s on the RSI would be a pretty good sell indicator, or at least to start to consider selling. And this is where we sort of come back to some other points where a lot of these indicators, especially the upside indicators where, effectively things have to keep going good for Bitcoin to hit these targets. If Bitcoin does from here, obviously the RSI will come down. We'll never hit that target. But the point is that if we do continue upwards, we'll probably start to see multiple indicators get hit. If we run out, say we run up from here, chances are by the time we hit the RSI on the high side, we're also going to be entering our time targets. We might even be entering our price targets. So a lot of these things are probably going to sort of converge and give us a good idea. So this, one indicator is not a whole picture. This is just one thing that I'm looking at personally. I guess my fourth one would be, this sort of, what do we call them? On-chain indicators, which are pretty good a lot of the time. One that I really quite like is this net profit and loss. Just because it seems pretty clear cut at this point in time. Of course, these indicators are not going to play out every single time for the rest of time. They're going to break down at some point and have some inconsistencies, but that's why we follow multiple. That's why we have multiple sell indicators, not just one or two. So this one here, we're pretty well just looking at the blue line, which is the net profit and loss, crossing into the euphoria and greed, which is, I believe about 75% plus. So you can see, we hit it multiple times, top comes in. That's an intermediate top just there, another intermediate, that is the market top. we stay under it for a long time, just jump into the euphoria greed, top out, just fall short, but top out. And then here we are again getting very close to it. This is a similar indicator to the RSI where we do often see this get hit twice. You can see in this first cycle, 1, 2, 3 times it gets hit before the eventual top. Second cycle hits twice. Third cycle, very nearly, you can see how close that gets to the top, 72.88%. So very, very close to the top, but I'd say that's close enough. And then you do see it does cross over here. And then the third cycle, this is a little bit more interesting. Same thing that we saw on the RSI, where we get, awfully close. That's a bit of a leading indicator. And then we don't come back and hit it. Same with the RSI, right? Where we, hit it on the first push up, just here, hit it on the first push up, did not hit the RSI, sell trigger on the second push up. But the point is that getting so close here is a good sell indicator. Yes, it's not the exact top. You can see price pushes up a little bit higher, but honestly, like a few $1,000s extra here and there does not matter. Point is that it's, indicating that the market is a little bit too hot at that given point in time. And you can see again, we are starting to push up and get quite close to that level. So if we do get into the 70s, that would probably be a bit of a sell indicator for me, because you can see we have had like diminishing returns. First cycle, we push up to 87%. Second cycle, we push up to 83. Third cycle, where am I looking? We only push up to about 78%. Third cycle, 73. Fourth cycle, let's wait and see how high we push up. We might go into the 70s. We might fall a little bit short, but this is just one of many indicators that we are following. Now, of course, I could stand here and show you, all these different charts and all the different potential, sell points in the market. If we just pull up a random one, the pull multiplier or multiple, sorry, we could also say that, once this hits, the red box, that we're going to sell, because that's how it's happened every other time. I could show you a million of these, but the point is that it's also just good to have one or two. I like the net unrealized profit and loss because it's easy to read and I can understand it. So that's just one indicator on top of all the other ones that we are following. But we'll look for sell triggers in this chart particularly. Okay, so those are most of our upside indicators. Now there do also have to be downside indicators where we essentially say that the market's over and we did not hit any of our price targets, time targets, whatever it may be. And the main one I am following, which is quite boring, but just really looking at our monthly swing lows and if those get taken out. So if we look at our monthly swing lows, of course, these ones to the lower side are not influential or impactful in any way, because if we're still holding Bitcoin at sub $20,000, we've done something very wrong. The main one we're looking at here is our current swing low, which is at $49,000. Of course, I think it would be concerning if we even came below the swing top, which is at 73,000. That would probably be the initial sell indicator to start offloading. But the ultimate one would be that swing low at 49,000. And when we talk about these swing lows, we're not just talking about a wick below, we are talking about a monthly or weekly close below those levels. So if the market, comes back down, we'll just turn this magnet off. If it comes back down, sort of wicks below and bounces back out, that is okay, as long as the close is higher than the point. Same thing again, even if, we have a massive wick that does that. Not like that exactly, because that's a terrible drawing, but you get the idea. We're looking at the close on the monthly and weekly time frame. So these are some levels that we need to look out for on the low side. If we do just, if things sort of get a bit shaky, and things come back to these levels, we need to worry. But that is, still quite a long way away. That is, the thing about the market is that we're only down, from the top. Let's have a quick look from the top to the current price, about 10%. So nothing really to worry about at this point in time. We will need to come down about 30% and all the way down to 50%. So it'll be some pretty drastic drawdowns. But that's something we need to keep an eye out. Hopefully this is just, what we're sort of looking at this just being just, I guess, a bit of a spoiler on next month's monthly analysis for January, is that this is probably just the intermediate and we might push up higher later, or we just continue up later in the month. We'll wait and see. Anyways, that is all for now, guys. So that is our sell indicators. We've got upside sell indicators. We've got our downside sell indicators. What we need to see for the downside, to quickly summarize, is just a big market shift. And that comes with swing lows and swing tops getting taken out. but we'll wait and see. That is a long way away. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, remember to hit that subscribe button. Gear up for the final year of the bull market. As we've been discussing, our next video will be our monthly analysis for the month of January. So we'll go through everything that's happened. I know this month has been a little bit crazy. If you just pull it up to the daily chart, oh my god, it's pretty messy on this chart. This isn't the one I typically use for daily, but so be it. What you can see is that things are, pretty scary right now. But we've, in the grand scheme of things, that's what we're looking at just before. It should be okay. Let's just wait and see. We'll go through that January 2nd probably, because obviously not going to do a video massively hungover from New Year's Eve, but we'll wait and see how we go. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.